Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Tuesday, October 11th, 2011. Let's get right into the charts here. We're going to take a look at the S&P 500 E-mini futures. And you can see here they are trading, let me just get this in perspective here. They are trading down a little bit by about 6.5 points. Not really that big a deal when you consider the large rally that we had yesterday. Just a huge rally. Big move right into the close. So big 330-point rally on the Dow. Then the S&P 500 was up nearly 40 points. So a huge mega rally. Today the market's pulling back just a little bit. That's really not too bad. Almost expected when you have that kind of a big move. Generally you'll pause the next trading day, or it'll be somewhat of a more subdued session. But yesterday you had that big gap and go to the upside. Market really surged right out of the gate and held up, consolidated, and then got another blast off right before the close. So big move. But remember, yesterday the bond market was closed. As I like to say, when the cat's away, the mice will play. And anytime the bond market is closed, we usually will favor an upside in the stock market. So that's what we saw yesterday. Today the markets are pulling back just a little bit. Nothing damaging at the moment, but we'll see where we go. Now there's a lot of news coming out of Europe. Very important. It really looks like the ECB and the IMF are all waiting on a vote from Slovakia. Yes, from the Slovakian parliament. So we'll have to see how that goes. But every party in the European Union must vote for this European Financial Stability Facility called the EFSF. This is really the bailout plan for the banks there. So again, it all hangs on whether the Slovakian government will vote to bail out the banks in the European Union. And right now, I think they're leaning towards not voting for it. So that's a little something that we have to watch for there. So I know that the vote is going on live now, or they're debating it live now, and some people in the Slovakian government are trying to push for it. Others are dead set against it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But in any case, looks like Greece is probably going to get another tranche payment so another bailout payment to stay afloat. But the end result is Greece is bankrupt, and the sooner the world comes to realize it, maybe the better off we'll all be. But either way, they are bankrupt. There's just not enough capital being produced or being found somewhere. So maybe they'll just create more money and throw it at the problem. But end result is it's not a good situation in Europe, and we'll see where we go from there. So we'll leave it at that. That's the European problem that we're looking at right now. All the European markets are trading slightly lower, not down that much. We'll take a look at the two big ones, which is the CAC 40. That's down about 0.75%, and the German DAX is down about 0.6%. The FTSE 100, which is not part of the European Union, they can print all the money they want. They have the Bank of England. They have their own central bank. They're down about 1% right now. So that's what we have to watch for. Now, something else overnight that's important to take note of was the Shanghai Index. Shanghai Index was up at one point, I guess, about 2%. It only finished up 0.1%. So again, the Shanghai Index putting in a rather poor performance, especially after the U.S. markets rallied sharply higher. But the Shanghai Index only up 4 points last night, really finishing higher by less than 0.2%. Now the Hang Seng had a decent night. That was up about 2.4%, but that was again well off the highs of the day. It was up 4% at one point, and then just finished up 2.4%. But nonetheless, it did finish positive, so I don't want to cast a shadow there. You had the the Australian markets actually hold up pretty well as also. They were up about 0.6%, and the decent little move there. So again, we have to continue to watch the Asian markets. I think the Asian markets really, in essence, could be more important than the European markets going forward. But we'll see. The Shanghai action, though, has been very poor as of late. The Indian Sensex was down a little bit. That was down about 0.1%. Not a big deal. The night before it had a big move. So not uncommon to see a little bit of a pullback there. In any case, we'll continue to watch these markets and let you know what we think. Right now, you do have gold down slightly. Oil is up a little bit. Let's take a look at the USO. You'll see USO is trading at 32.70, closed at 33.24, so that is down a little bit from yesterday's closing high. The GLD is trading down as well. GLD closed at 163.26. Today it's trading at 161.33. So a good little pullback, good little sell-off there in GLD this morning. And that's really what we have today in this market. A couple of stocks that I was looking at earlier to see if there's any action is DTG. This is Dollar Thrifty Automotive. The stock is trading down just a little bit. Nothing earth-shattering there. This stock, believe it or not, if you look at a daily chart, or better yet, we'll go to a weekly chart, you'll see back in 2008, the stock was trading just around $1, and all of a sudden it did make a move all the way up to over $80, and now getting a little bit of a bid. If we go back to the 10-minute chart, it is trading down a little bit today, around 58.50. So down a couple of bucks. I'm not sure what the news is there. There's always takeover news on this stock, so you got to really read between the lines. I just leave it alone at this point. I'm not sure I see this thing doing all that much today. Couple of leading commodity stocks are lower. Here's BHP. BHP is trading down just a little bit. Nothing terrible there. Stock closed at 75.18, trading down at 73.34 this morning. Freeport Mac is down a little bit too. And that's the world's leading copper producer, trading at 35.25. The stock closed yesterday at 36.03. So you're seeing some commodity stocks come down. That only tells us one thing, that the U.S. dollar index is trading higher on the session, and it is up slightly. It's up about 30 cents. Yesterday, the dollar was completely massacred. That's the only word I could use. Completely massacred. Here's Sunday night's open, and look at how this thing just got pummeled yesterday. Dollar got trashed. You know, when the dollar goes down, the markets go up, especially commodity stocks. And today you see the dollar inching up a little bit. And what happens? Commodity stocks are down before the open. So again, keep the dollar on your watch list at all time. You should be looking at that chart constantly throughout the day. Probably one of the most important charts out there. We're going to leave it at that today. We're going to watch this Slovenian vote about the European Financial Stability Facility Fund, and we'll see how it comes out, what the word is out of there. That could move markets in the short term, but again, just take it day at a time right here. I know we've had a big rally, a tremendous bounce. There may be a little bit more upside. Remember how the markets like to do it. They like to overshoot one way and overshoot the other. So they overshoot the downside, then when they bounce, they overshoot to the upside. It's just a game of extremes. Okay, with that said, everybody have a great trading day, and we'll see you all on the microphone at 9:30, those of you in the chat room. Real quick, before I forget, there are Alcoa earnings after the bell today, so the market is going to start earnings season, and that usually makes for a very volatile environment. So we'll see if the markets can move up a little bit more in the coming days, but again, watch for the volatility, and we'll update you a little bit more tomorrow. Have a great trading day, everybody. Take care.